There are 5 hidden signs that show he wants you deeply, but he is struggling with his emotions. And I am going to tell you something that might sound completely backwards at first. The guy showing you these signs is probably acting colder toward you than any other man in your life right now. The one who seems the most distant is actually the one who wants you the most. The one pulling away and acting like he does not care is making you feel absolutely confused with his mixed messages. That is the guy who is falling hard and completely panicking about it. I know you think this makes no sense, because if he really wants you, then why would he not just show it? Why would he pull away and create all this confusion? If you want to finally understand why he pulls away even when he wants you badly, hit like right now. Here is the truth. The stronger his feelings become, the stranger his actions get. And most women notice this happening and decide he is simply not interested. They walk away from a man who actually wants them more than anyone else does. They completely miss what is really happening underneath. Stay with me, because what I am about to explain will change how you understand men forever. I am going to show you the 5 specific signs that prove he is struggling with his feelings for you, the small things he does that reveal everything he is trying to hide, and that one thing he does that sounds like rejection but is actually the biggest clue he is into you. Because once you understand this, you stop questioning everything. You stop feeling confused and unsure. You start seeing what is truly happening behind all those mixed messages. This is not about playing games at all. This is about understanding how men really behave when they develop real feelings, the kind of feelings that scare them deeply. And by the end of this, you will know exactly what to do when a man is struggling with what he feels for you. The one move that makes him finally stop running and admit what has been there all along. But first we need to talk about why these feelings terrify him so much. And fair warning, the real reason might actually make you upset, because it has absolutely nothing to do with you. So why do men struggle with their feelings like this? Why does liking you turn into this whole strange push and pull situation? Here is what is going on. When a man develops strong feelings quickly, something kicks in that most women do not know about. His brain starts treating you like a threat, not a physical one, but an emotional one, because deep down he knows that if he lets himself fully want you, then you have the power to completely break him. Think about it this way. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you were almost afraid to get it? Because if you finally got it and then lost it, the pain would be unbearable. Comment mixed. If you're tired of getting these confusing signals from a guy, that is exactly what is happening in his mind. The more he likes you, the more his fear tells him to pull back. He convinces himself that if he keeps his distance, he cannot get hurt. But feelings do not disappear just because they are ignored. They grow beneath the surface until they begin showing in ways he cannot fully control. That is when the cracks begin to appear. Many women mistake these signs for rejection when they often mean something very different. We are about to look at 5 hidden signs, and number 3 surprises almost everyone. Hit the like button right now, because once you understand it, you may never misread a man's behavior the same way again. The first sign is inconsistency with a pattern. He gets close, opens up, and then suddenly pulls away. This is not always a game. It can be fear taking over after a genuine connection. The better things go, the stronger that panic can become, making him create distance just when everything felt right. Type yes if you're ready to learn the 5 hidden signals he's fighting his feelings for you. Then the next morning, nothing. He does not text first. When you reach out, his responses are short cold, even like the night before never happened. Your first thought is probably that you said something wrong, or that you misread the whole thing, or that he realized he is not actually interested. But that is not what is happening at all. What is actually happening is that he woke up replaying that conversation in his mind, realizing how much he enjoyed it, how easy it was to talk to you, and how much he actually opened up. And that scared him badly. So he pulls back to protect himself, to create distance, and to convince himself it was not that big of a deal. But he always comes back, maybe after a day or maybe after a few days, but he cannot stay away because those feelings will not let him. Watch the pattern. Good connection equals sudden distance. Then he comes back. That cycle is him struggling with what he feels. The more consistent that pattern is, the more likely it is that his feelings are real and intense. Because if he truly did not care, there would not be a pattern at all. He would just be consistently distant or consistently engaged. The back and forth is the fight. And here is something else to watch for within this pattern. Notice how he comes back. Does he act like nothing happened? Does he make a joke about disappearing? Or does he have some excuse about being busy? That is him trying to protect his ego while also trying to reconnect with you. He wants to come back, but he does not want to admit why he left in the first place. Sign number 2. His body language is all over the place when he is around you. Pay attention to how he acts physically when you are together. He is fidgeting, constantly messing with his phone and cannot seem to get comfortable. His body is literally torn between wanting to get closer to you and trying to protect itself. He might stand really close to you 1 second, then suddenly step back. He might touch your arm when he is laughing, then immediately create space again. But there is one specific thing that gives everything away. Watch his hands. If he runs his hand through his hair or rubs the back of his neck when he is talking to you, that is a huge tell. It is an unconscious sign that he is nervous and that he is feeling something he is trying to control. And here is another big one. Notice if he positions his body towards you even when he is not looking at you, like his whole body is facing you, even though he is pretending to look at his phone or talk to someone else. That is his subconscious mind showing you exactly what his conscious mind is trying to hide. When a guy is struggling with feelings for you, his body always tells the truth even when his words do not. Here is what makes this sign so powerful. You can lie with words. You can control what you say. But body language that is almost impossible to fake consistently. If you've ever been confused by his body language, type body below. His body will always betray what he is really feeling. Watch for the small things. Does he lean in when you talk even though he is trying to act casual? Does he mirror your movements without realizing it? If you cross your arms, does he cross his a few seconds later? If you lean back, does he do the same? Mirroring is one of the strongest signs of attraction. It is completely unconscious. When we are drawn to someone, our bodies naturally try to match theirs. So if he is mirroring you while also trying to act like he does not care that is the battle happening in real time, drop the word pattern if his hot and cold behavior is driving you crazy. His body wants to connect. His mind is fighting it. Also pay attention to where his feet are pointing. This sounds strange, but it is incredibly accurate. People's feet naturally point toward what they are interested in. So even if he is talking to someone else or looking at his phone, check where his feet are aimed. If they are pointed at you, that is where his real attention is. And watch his eyes. Not just whether he is making eye contact, but what happens when he does. Does he hold your gaze a little too long, then quickly look away? Does he seem like he is forcing himself not to look at you? These are signs he is hyper aware of you and trying to control it. Sign number 3, and this is the one that sounds completely backwards. He gets meaner the more he likes you. I am not talking about him being actually mean or cruel. I am talking about more teasing, more sarcasm, and more playful insults. He makes fun of you more than he makes fun of anyone else. Here is why this happens. When someone feels something they do not want to feel, they often do the exact opposite. It is safer to tease you and keep things light than to be vulnerable and admit how he really feels. So he will roast you, constantly make jokes at your expense, act like nothing you do impresses him, roll his eyes when you talk and challenge everything you say. And here is the real tell. The sharper his comments are, the more likely it is that he is fighting hard against what he feels, because creating distance through humor feels way safer than letting you see that he actually cares. But watch what happens when you are real with him first. When you share something vulnerable or deep, his whole tone shifts, the jokes stop, the sarcasm disappears, and for just a second you see the softer side he has been hiding. That shift right there is the real him breaking through. Everything else is just armor. Most women see the teasing and think he sees them as just a friend, or worse, that he does not respect them. But if he is teasing you way more than he teases other women, that is actually proof you matter to him more. Here is how to tell the difference between friendly teasing and this kind of teasing. Pay attention to his eyes and his smile when he is making fun of you. Is there warmth there? Is he watching your reaction closely? Does he seem to care whether you laugh or not? If yes, that is not dismissive teasing. That is him trying to get your attention and connect with you in the only way that feels safe right now. Also notice if he ever crosses the line and then immediately backs off. Like if he makes a joke that lands wrong and you can see him register it on his face. That moment of concern is him showing that your feelings actually matter to him. He is trying to play it cool, but he cannot stand the thought of actually hurting you. And here is another layer to this. The teasing often increases when other guys are around. If he is more sarcastic or playful with you in group settings, that is him trying to get your attention without being obvious about it. He cannot just openly flirt with you in front of everyone because that would expose how he feels, so he teases instead. Comment, teasing if he jokes around and acts meaner the more he likes you. It gives him a reason to interact with you without making his feelings obvious. The fourth sign is that he remembers the little things. A story you told weeks ago, a food you dislike, or a goal you mentioned only once. He brings them up naturally. When someone is deeply attracted to you, their mind pays attention to details without even trying because you genuinely matter to them. When a man is struggling with his feelings, he often becomes hyper-aware of everything about you. He remembers inside jokes, asks about things you care about, and recalls conversations you thought he had forgotten. He may even know your schedule or mention something you said weeks earlier as if it happened yesterday. Those small details stay with him because you stay on his mind. Think about how uncommon that really is. Most people forget everyday conversations, but he quietly stores the little things you never expected anyone to remember. He remembers your meeting, your favorite and least favorite foods, your family, your goals, and even passing comments made in casual conversation. These are not details you emphasized. They simply mattered because you mattered. And that is something you cannot fake. You cannot force yourself to remember details about someone unless you are genuinely interested in them. Your brain automatically filters out information it deems unimportant. So if his brain is holding on to everything you say, that means his brain has decided that everything about you is important. Comment, remembers, if he recalls tiny details about you weeks later. And watch for this. Does he remember things differently than other people? Like most people might remember the main point of your story, but he remembers the small detail you mentioned in passing. That is next level attention. That is someone who is hanging on your every word even when they are trying to act casual. Also notice if he remembers things you care about and then does something with that information. Like if you mentioned you love a certain type of coffee and he randomly shows up with it one day, or if you said you have been wanting to see a certain movie and he suggests watching it, that is him paying attention and then acting on it. That is him showing he cares through actions instead of words because words feel too vulnerable. The fifth sign is that he acts noticeably different around you than he does with everyone else. Around his friends, he is relaxed, but with you, he becomes more aware of himself. He adjusts his clothes, watches what he says, and seems more careful. That is not always awkwardness. It can be attraction. He is trying hard to keep under control. One of the biggest clues is how his mood shifts when you casually mention another guy. If he suddenly gets quiet, makes a joke, or starts asking unexpected questions, he may be hiding jealousy. Even if he acts like he does not care, his expression and tone often reveal more than his words. You might mention a night out with friends and everything feels normal until another man enters the story. That subtle change in his energy can say more than any confession. Type jealous. If he changes when you mention other guys, you are not together and he may not have made a move, but emotions do not always follow logic. He may stand closer when other men are around, join conversations, or subtly try to be funnier or more impressive. Those actions can reflect competitive feelings he never says out loud. Share this with a friend who keeps getting mixed signals from a guy she likes, because this is where many people misunderstand the signs completely. What to do when he is struggling with his feelings. This is where everything can fall apart. If you do not handle it right, most women either push way too hard for answers or they give up completely and walk away. Both moves are wrong, but one is way more deadly than the other. If you push him for clarity right now, if you ask, "What are we?" or "Do you like me?" if you put your feelings out there hoping he will do the same, you will trigger his fear so hard that he will likely disappear completely. I know that sounds harsh, but when a man is struggling with his feelings this intensely, you cannot force him to admit them. You cannot logic him into confessing. You cannot overwhelm him with attention and expect his walls to come down. But you also cannot just walk away and hope he figures it out, because he will not. He will convince himself he was right to keep his guard up, that those feelings were not real and that he dodged something. So what do you actually do? You create safety, but not in the obvious way. Here is what actually works, and it is so simple that most women completely miss it. Be steady when he is all over the place. Do not match his hot and cold behavior. Do not chase when he pulls away. Do not go cold when he goes cold. Stay calm, stay grounded. Show him through your actions that you are not going anywhere, but you are also not desperate. You are just there, solid, steady, totally unfazed by his back and forth. This does something powerful to his brain. It proves that his biggest fears are not real, that you are not going to hurt him, and that maybe it is actually safe to let his guard down. Think about what his fear actually is. He is afraid that if he lets himself fully like you, you will leave, or you will reject him, or you will change your mind, or you will hurt him somehow. So when you stay consistent, regardless of his behavior, you are showing him that his fear is wrong. You are proving through your actions that you are not going anywhere, that you are safe. But here is the key ingredient most women never use. Give him space, then come back with something that adds value. Do not crowd him. Do not text him constantly asking why he is being weird. Do not demand to know what is going on. Just let him breathe. The more pressure you put on him, the harder he will resist. But here is the important part. When you give space, do not go completely silent. Come back with something light, something funny, something that made you think of him, something that adds to his life instead of demanding from it. This creates a pattern in his mind. When she is around, life feels better. When she is not, I actually miss that. Here is what this looks like practically. He pulls back. Instead of freaking out or demanding answers, you just let him have his space. You do not chase. You do not double text. You just live your life. Then a day or two later, you reach out with something simple, a funny video, a meme that reminded you of an inside joke, something he mentioned he was interested in. You are not asking for anything. You are not bringing up the distance. You are just adding something positive to his day. This is so powerful because it shows him that you are not needy or clingy. You are not sitting around waiting for him, but you are also not playing games or trying to punish him with silence. You are just being a positive presence in his life without any pressure attached. Be vulnerable first, but do it strategically. Share something real about yourself, not insecurities, not neediness, something that shows depth, a fear you are facing, a goal you are working on, something meaningful. When you show him that being vulnerable does not mean being weak, he starts feeling safe enough to be vulnerable too. And that is when his walls start coming down for real. Here is the key to vulnerability. It needs to be authentic but not heavy. You are not trauma dumping. You are not making him your therapist. You are just letting him see a real side of you, something beyond the surface. This does two things. First, it shows him that you trust him enough to be real. Second, it gives him permission to be real too. Most people are scared to be vulnerable first, but when someone else does it, it creates this opening, this space where suddenly it feels safe to share real things. Do not react to his tests because he will test you. He will pull back to see if you will chase. He will act indifferent to see if you will get needy. He will mention other women to see if you will get jealous. Pass every test by staying completely calm, not cold, not distant, just centered in your own worth. When he sees that you do not need his validation to feel good about yourself, something major shifts. The power dynamic flips, and suddenly he is the one worried he might lose you. Here is what most women do not realize. These tests are not conscious. He is not sitting there planning them out. They are coming from his insecurity. He is testing to see if you are going to act like other women from his past. He is testing to see if his fears are valid. Every time you pass a test by not reacting the way he expects, you are breaking down his walls a little more. Comment. Steady. If you want to know exactly what to do when he pulls away. And here is the most important piece. Live your life fully, whether he is in it or not. When he sees that you are not sitting around waiting for him to figure out his feelings, when he watches you thriving on your own, something changes in his mind. The fear of losing you becomes bigger than his fear of getting close, and that is when he stops fighting completely. The truth is, men are not complicated. They are just scared. Scared of getting hurt, scared of being vulnerable, scared of wanting something so much that losing it would break them. And when you understand that, when you see his weird behavior for what it really is, everything makes sense. The pulling away is not rejection, it is protection. The teasing is not disrespect, it is deflection. The inconsistency is not confusion. It is conflict between what he wants and what he is afraid of. And once you see this, you cannot unsee it. You will start noticing these patterns everywhere, in the way he looks at you when he thinks you are not watching, in the way his voice changes when he talks to you versus when he talks to other people. If this finally makes sense, drop the word truth below. In the tiny moments where his guard drops and you see what is really there underneath all the walls, this is how you stop feeling crazy. This is how you stop second-guessing everything. This is how you finally see the truth behind the confusion. And this is how you give him the space to finally stop fighting and start being real about what he feels. If this hit home for you, drop a comment below with the word yes, so I know you really get this. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, because next week I am revealing the exact words to say when he finally stops fighting and admits how he really feels. You definitely do not want to miss that. Like this video, comment which of the 5 signals you've noticed the most, and subscribe for more ways to understand men who want you but fight their feelings.